I'm back for video 3 to do the last 4 oils that come in the Family Physician Kit from doTERRA that I kind of recommend your oils to start out your everyday ailments and for just the little things that I use these oils for every day. So these last 4 oils are actually oil blends. So they're not just one pure oil, they're blends of oils for certain ailments. So this first one is On Guard. Second one is Breathe. Next one is Digest Zen. And I didn't have a bottle of this oil, but I do have it in a lotion. So it's Deep Blue. So these are the 4 I'll be going over. So the first one is On Guard. And On Guard is a protective blend. So this is the blend that I put on my little boy's feet. I put 2 drops in my palm of my hand and rub it on their feet every single night. With the exception of a few nights, I'm sure we've gotten home late or I haven't been home, I've been working at night or whatever, but 95% of nights I put this on my little boy's feet. And it's really good for an immune booster, and it's really good to help support against the everyday viruses they come in contact with. It is wonderful if you already feel that sniffle coming on, or you feel, or your little boy or your kids are starting to get a cold. It is wonderful to put on the bottoms of your feet or your little kids' feet once you feel that, if they feel that virus coming on. I would recommend if they do have the virus coming on, or if it's already full blown, is okay. It will decrease the duration of the virus and it will help with the severity of it. So I would put it on every 3 to 4 hours. Just like I said, 2 to 3 drops on a child. On a very small baby, I would put 1 drop. Just kind of use just your common sense and your intuition of how many drops you really need. If it's on a small baby especially that you've never used essential oil on for any oil, I would use a carrier oil. If it's on any child at all, with the exception of the bottoms of their feet, I would always recommend to use a carrier oil with On Guard because it can be a little bit hot to the touch. And a carrier oil, when I first was using essential oils, I thought, oh, carrier oils, whatever. I'll just use a lotion. So I use my baby lotion and some On Guard right after the bath with my little boy. And oh my gosh, mistake central. He just started screaming, crying, saying, "What did you do to me, Mom?" And I thought I knew better, but I didn't. And you need a carrier oil, not a lotion in this sense. So when it says to use a carrier oil in any research that you use or you hear, make sure you're using an actual carrier oil. And again, I'll say coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, any carrier oil that you can use to help relieve the touch of the oil, the sensation of the oil. It won't decrease the potency of it. The potency is still wonderful. It's just gonna decrease the sensitivity to the skin. So when I use it on my boys, unless I'm using it right on their feet, I use a carrier oil with it every time. So if my little boy, I have one little boy that's really predestined to get croup. If he gets even the slightest sniffle, that night I know I'm gonna be up all night with croup. So I'll use 2 drops of On Guard, 2 drops of frankincense. On Guard for the virus, frankincense for the inflammation, to help with the inflammation in the throat, because croup is inflammation in your larynx. It's in part of your throat. So it's inflamed, or your glottis, I'm sorry. It's an inflamed part of your anatomy in your throat, and it will help decrease the inflammation in there very quickly, such as a steroid would do. And then I've also used the blend that I'm gonna say in a minute, Breathe, to help open up the airway and to help open up the throat to help with their breathing and to help the symptoms subside. So I've used On Guard for that also. On Guard has been proven with many researches and many testings that to help kill the virus MRSA. If you've heard of MRSA, it's pretty bad in hospital. It's a lot of people will contract it. You can put this right on the wound of MRSA. If it's on a big wound, like I said in previous videos, you can use a bottle and you can use it in sterile water or a carrier oil in this instance, whichever one you want to use. Sterile water is cheaper. And the On Guard, well, with the On Guard I would use a carrier oil, not the water, because it would be really strong to the touch. But any other oil that's a less strong oil, I would just use water. But with On Guard on MRSA or on the skin if there's any major virus, to spray it on that you don't want to touch and irritate. On Guard is also, let me look at my notes because I know I'm forgetting something. When I feel a cold coming on, like I said earlier, I use Melaleuca, but I also put in that water that I swallow a couple drops of the On Guard, and I do that every 15 minutes for the first hour and then do it every 3 hours. And make sure you're eating with it because you don't want to irritate your stomach because it's pretty hot, or it can kind of irritate your stomach, so make sure you're eating with it and then you won't have the irritation. Other than that, there's a few other things you can use it for, but it gets a little more in detail, but that is the basic things I use it for. It's just a good immune booster for every day. Okay, and the next one, I think I said Breathe. So Breathe is wonderful for just what it says. It's good for breathing. It's really good for asthmatics and an asthmatic attack. You can put it in your hands and you can just cup it and just do your nice slow inhalations as slow as you can. I know in an asthma attack it's hard to say, breathe slow, but as slow as you can. Also wonder for croupy kids to help open up their airways, kind of like the breathing treatment if you go to the ER and you get a breathing treatment. This is kind of what it takes the place of.